Okay, so here we are in Vegas at SHOT Show and meeting new people. So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell me who you are. I'm the insurance preacher.
Okay. My name is Jason House. I'm the CEO of Iridium Sports Agency.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you're here in Vegas?
Yeah, we're based in Vegas now for about 5 years now.
Right.
Going on 6, actually.
Right. Where were you born and raised?
Southern California.
Right. So
Yeah.
you came out of the darkness into Vegas, right?
Yeah. When COVID happened, the way our business is structured, there's 44 UFC events a year, and it used to only be like 4 or 5 events in Vegas a year. Post-COVID, it became 22 events. So basically, half the events would be here. So it just made sense to be home, to make this home, to kind of have a place to lay our head a little bit more consistently.
So tell me what you do. I mean, you manage people?
Yeah. So basically what we do is we're a full service agency. So we start managing athletes. We're a little different than most agencies because we manage them from the time they're amateurs all the way through their pro career. A lot of agencies don't want to work with pro fighters till they have about 7, 8, maybe 9 fights under their belt. We like to start working with them early, and I think it's good to do that to kind of just build a good foundation for them, both inside the cage and outside the cage and how they're running their business.
Right.
And I think, too, you get to know if that's the person you think they are, right? I think character goes a long way, and you want to make sure the culture of your group's pretty good.
Right. So how do you keep them in line? Because, I mean, I see professional sports, it's, to me, kind of been ruined by the money and Black Lives Matter and all the, things that I don't personally like. But now with college kids getting money, I mean, they're moving schools every year. So, there's just listening to you. I'm the insurance preacher, right?
Yeah.
So I started in 1985 and basically insured people that couldn't get insurance. Helicopter ski guides, rafting, mountain climbing. I call them the land of the misfit toys, which, you could say those are your clients too. They don't have a lot of experience. They don't have a lot of fight under their belt. So, you deal with them when other people aren't interested, right? Then in my business, I insure them, represent them properly, right? Make sure that the foundation can stand a test, a lawsuit. If you get sued, somebody dies of a heart attack, or they crash and die. There's facts are different in each case, and you can pay everybody. The lawyers will eat your lunch money every day if you just are a pussy and pay everybody, which, that's what insurance companies do. That's how people become uninsurable.
Yeah.
So, I deal with that too. I insure people when nobody else will. You mentor professionals before they're interesting to others.
Yes.
And then in my world, the other guys show up. Right? Same in your world. Show up. Oh, you're with that agency. We do all these big guys.
Yeah.
And they get enticed away from you. Right? In my world, after 5 years, the litigation gets so bad, they get canceled and they end up coming back. So when I was young and they left, I didn't say the right things. Right? I was upset. I was hurt. And then they're less likely to come back to you. So you kind of have to bite your tongue and say, look, I understand the grass looks greener.
Yeah.
And it's attractive. I'll be here when you need a real partner instead of somebody who's just, walking through it. So it's interesting, and I'm just assuming that you live with the same thing. People that are happy for your help when you can, and then all of a sudden, they end up leaving you. So how do you I deal with it by telling them the future.
Yeah.
I warn them. I'm like, this is not something everybody's interested in now. So how are you going to make sure you take care of me when other people come at you? Do you try and educate them before that, or you just wait for it to happen?
It's like a 2-part question. For me, I feel like a lot of agencies, and this is why you're saying earlier the guys go broke and the way they're chasing the money. I like to talk about the elephant in the room, which is life after fighting. Right. I like to focus on year 41 to year 80. I think if I truly do my job properly, that is my biggest success, right? Seeing my athletes live a good life after fighting when they have the ego death of fighting ending. In regards to the competition aspect of our business and other agencies coming after our athletes, I take the same approach that you have. My wife would disagree. She would like to tell them to go fly a kite somewhere. For me,
well, I did in the
in the beginning. Yeah, for me, I just feel like whether God put them in my life for 2 months, 2 years, or 20 years, I'm going to give them my best, and they're going to come back. They always come back. Right. They come back every time, because I know that the level of care and love that we show for our guys, you can't fake that. You can entice them, and maybe they think the grass is greener, but then when it fades away and they start realizing, man, Jason was helping me with my accounting. Jason helped me get that home loan. Jason was preparing that fund for my kids' college. Like, they're going to start seeing the little things that we are doing to ensure that their life's going to be okay. Because kind of like you're saying, you deal with insurance. I think as an agent, like, we pray and prepare for the best, but we also have to be prepared for the worst. We have to understand that, athletics are very unforgiving. You could be on top of the world one day and you could be forgotten about in the next. And I think that's the key.
Everybody's trying to climb the ladder.
Yes.
Same in insurance or anything. They're always trying to come after you.
I think it's difficult what you do too, because not many people have knowledge like you do in your field. And so when everyone's selling them this grandiose, I can do this and that, and it's like, man, that's not how this is going to work, and it's hard.
Well, and I'm an insurance consumer first. And so, again, I want to treat people like you treat your professional athletes. If you switch positions with them, I think that's how you feel good about stuff. So, I know, that obviously as boxers get successful, there's people who think they want to take them on in a bar and stuff. And so, I think the world, pre-COVID and post-COVID, the internet, life isn't like it was back in, 1980s and 90s, where you went to work and you had a personal life. It was separate. My life isn't like that. My everything I do, if I'm out ATVing or hunting, I got business people with me, and policies are constructed to exclude that, right? And so that creates more lawyers, more money. So the insurance world hasn't evolved, and there's a bunch of stuff that, prevents that. What allows us to change that is make good decisions. And that's just basic in life, right? So we're offered policies, and I call them cans of corn. It's like, do you insure skating rinks, or do you insure, the Rolling Stones concert, right? There's people who do that. That's what their appetite is. But they also create a policy that has guardrails, limits, exclusions, fine print, like assault and battery, right? People that are in the business of fighting, security guards, most of the firearms coverage people buy from anybody excludes work. I mean, if you have a concealed carry and it covers you personally, that's great, but you need it at work too. Yeah. And so, our approach is to be more inclusive, not try and carve it out and be tricky, that's old-fashioned risk management. Right? If I got a security problem, I hire you as a security company, and I make you carry coverage and name me, but that doesn't get me out of the lawsuit. Yeah. And if you pay it, it's going to make it harder for my business going forward. So now most people who would write a security guard or a dentist or anybody that could be accused of assault and battery or sexual abuse and molestation, that has no insurance for it. Yeah. And that's un-American, because America says you're innocent till proven guilty, right? So that's my desire, is I want coverage, because when I got accused of felony assault on a police officer and spent 3 days in the Cook County Jail, I knew I didn't do it. Yeah. And I could have pled guilty to a misdemeanor and been safe. If I'm found guilty of a felony, I can't own an insurance company. Yeah. So it's like all of the lawsuits and what goes on in the game of life, it's just like the playground. Yeah. Lawyers are bullies, right? That's all they are. And they're testing the guardrails to see, what they can do. So again, I feel it's disingenuous just like you would in managing, your business, to sell people something that doesn't take care of the whole problem.
Yeah.
If you get accused of a felony like I did, you're innocent till proven guilty, and your insurance policy should track with that.
Yeah.
And it should cover you 24/7 as an individual. Your business, it should cover your business, but include you personally if they sue you, because that reduces the litigation and complication of it. So I always just tell everybody, this isn't anything you learn at school.
No.
Right? This is just right and wrong and basic. And a lot of really smart people that go to school to be an actuary or whatever, and they might be great at their field, but they're stupid in the whole game. Because they understand L of the alphabet, but the alphabet, you have to actually understand how it all connects and how you either manage it to your advantage or your client's advantage. So I just think that all of this internet, whether it's dirt bikes or Cletus McFarlane or whoever, there is no policy that comes close to covering them properly. And, that's what we offer any professional is true, TRU, insurance. And we call it a partnership.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to lie to us to get a homeowner's policy. One of my first policies was Bob Burnquist, who was a skater with, Tony Hawk, and he had this huge skateboard ramp in his backyard, and nobody would insure it. And we did. And, again, those are things that we work with people to customize a policy so that we're there when you need us.
Yeah.
Anybody can collect your money and issue you a piece of paper. Who can actually help you when you have trouble, whether it's a storm, your house, your most valuable assets ruined. California is the most recent example of every time insurance is used, it fails. And then we all look to the government. Who's the government? It's us. They're going to assess us all to pay for bad decisions and really, stupid insurance that hasn't evolved. I use the cell phone.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we typed policies on a typewriter and we had a phone stuck to the wall.
Yeah.
Would you still put up with that today? No. And people spend a lot more money on their phones and stuff than they did in the past. So, it's evolution, but old businesses like banking and insurance, it's almost like the government, right? They're not going in the right direction. So that's the preacher's sermon for today.
You see that a lot in this day and age now because of the internet, that there's more exposure for some of the type of athletes or type of people that you're working with.
Yeah.
I always felt like I wonder if Jordan would still have that Jordan-esque in this day and age, right? If he had technology following him and stuff, and kind of that mystique that he carried with him, in this day and age. And I think for our athletes, it's always tough. We joke around with them like, dude, social media is not your diary, and you got to be careful. People are recording everything and posting everything, and it just seems like there's more exposure and more opportunity for liability when everything is.
Law enforcement uses it to prove.
Yes.
Right. Courts, lawyers use it. We'll have people sue, claim they're in a wheelchair, and then they post they went hunting and shot a big deer and carried it out.
Yeah.
And it's, you think, are you that stupid?
Fish only gets caught when it opens its mouth.
But, again, it's just a tool. And, everybody wants to think AI is great. And I've lived through typewriters to the internet bubble, and AI is just another tool.
Yeah.
It's going to evolve. There's going to be something after that. And, if you use it to your advantage, I don't think that makes a difference. Do you do the right thing? So if a truck I insure runs over your mom in the crosswalk and she had the green light, we should just pay. Lawyers shouldn't suck, the majority of the money, and we fight you for 2 or 3 years. Now, I had a claim, and the guy who ran into me, they denied liability for 2 years, and then all of a sudden they want me to sign. We're admitting liability now. I'm like, 2 years? right? I know within a week,
Yeah.
right? I don't care whether it's an avalanche, ski death that a billionaire dies in or a car accident. If you're the business owner and I'm your insurance company, within a week, we should be able to make a decision. Yeah. And that's the right thing to do. What we all do as insurance companies, you report it and I assign it to somebody else. And, my excuse is, well, I'm waiting for a report, right? That's why I do everything in-house. That's a dumb excuse. But all the people who provide that service, that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be like going to get divorced, and it's like, dude, just split the money and, don't pay me anything. But I don't think that's the conversation that goes on in a divorce.
No.
My mind says it's like, so do you think he's hiding money? And I think their answer is yes, he could be, right? And so everybody's living on hope, right? Yeah. It's like, I'm going to sue and get, a bunch of money. We just had a case in Miami-Dade, which is a legal hellhole, demand $5 million, right? 3 years in, courthouse steps, dropped to 1.9, right? In most cases, my opinion is that was settled for $500,000 to $1 million, and everybody thinks they did a good job. Bullshit, right? It was a bullshit lawsuit, right? If you're going to pay me, and I know that by demanding a lot of money, that's like not even possible, you're going to pay me more, I'm going to do it every damn time.
Yeah.
So we took that case to jury trial, and the jury said, we don't even believe there's an accident, and awarded 0 to the plaintiff. And now they owe us $300,000.
So it went from $5 million to 1.9 to them paying you $300,000.
Right. But you got to play the game when you have to know the facts of the case. And, the insured knew the facts. I knew the facts. We were all on the same plan. And it's like, a Super Bowl team. If you end up in the Super Bowl on the 1 yard line with a couple of seconds left, you know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You don't start making up plays. That's what insurance companies do. That's what lawyers do. They're all gaming each other, and nobody holds them accountable, and 98% of all cases settle before trial after you've spent all this money. So again, in a good divorce, you just say, let's split it up, pay the lawyer $350 to write it up, and let's get on with our life.
Yeah.
Or you do like I did, 3 years, 5 years, lots of money, and then you both get less money. It's stupid. But it takes decisions, right? Good decisions. The insured and the insurance company are partners. And, when I insure anything, I talk to them. We talked with Drake. We talked with Jessica Simpson. The insurance agents don't want us to. And I basically look at them and say, well, if I can't talk to them, I don't want to insure them. I mean, how do I make somebody happy that doesn't want to talk to you?
Yeah.
And I do see that a lot on the internet now with people wanting to get sponsorships or collaborate and stuff. They don't want to actually talk to you.
Yeah.
They'll type all day long, and that makes me really fucking suspicious.
That's not a real partnership.
Yeah, why, can't you speak?
Yeah.
I mean, how confusing is the written word compared to, us talking about it, agreeing to it, and then confirming it in writing. That, to me, is a lot safer route. And I'm so old now that I prefer not to waste any more time than I have to.
I don't blame you.
So you'll get there. You're a young man still, so. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Anytime, we can do anything together or work together, that'd be a great thing. Do you have any questions for me or my team?
No, I've actually learned quite a bit, and it makes me start to look at that relationship with insurance a little bit differently. And moving forward for our athletes, I think it's best that we kind of take that same approach. It's as a partnership, and you should have a direct line of communication.
Right.
A couple of times we've had to deal with insurance companies for various issues for our clientele. There hasn't been a lot of transparency, right? It's been a lot of the buck getting passed all over, and you're just chasing it, kind of running and trying to catch your own tail almost.
That's why I Hate Insurance is the name of my podcast.
Yeah. So it's good to learn some insight from you, an expert in it.
Well, learning every day. So
Yes, sir.
been doing it longer than others, so that makes me an expert, okay. But I think, my difference is I risk my own money. And it
Yeah.
was really to prove that, people aren't uninsurable just because that's what the smarter people up in the big ivory towers say. So,
Well, I think they're looking for the cookie cutter. Well, it seems like you're willing to really sit down and iron out something that makes a whole lot of sense, which a lot of big companies aren't going to sit there and do that case by case, right? That'll take a lot of bandwidth.
I don't think it's all about everybody's so unique, especially in the world today that you can't buy cans of corn
Yeah.
and get what you need in the modern world. So we're here to help. And I think I've been saving businesses since 1985 because most of them have to prove insurance to the U.S. government or state or, promoters or
Yeah.
whoever. So anyway, X Insurance, the insurance preacher, we're here for you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming.